Hi, it's Charlie, and I thought I'd just do a personal message to you. Having been a member in the past, um, I'm so you know how passionate I am about the markets generally and about the trading opportunities that are there. And I wanted to convey to you via Sam that, my word, do I see some amazing opportunities right now in the world that we are in. And because you've been with us in the past, I would like you to rejoin, and I'm sure Sam will facilitate that for you if you want to. But I want to just share my thoughts on where we're at and where I believe the opportunities are, and take things forward from there. So because I think it's such an exciting time. I have to try and I say in the trading room even just yesterday, I'm having to curtail my enthusiasm a little bit because we don't I always say we don't want to get too over. We never want to be excited on given trades and profits and stuff like that. But you can still be excited about the opportunities as a whole that are presenting themselves. And I think that we're in one of those moments in time whereby there are countless opportunities. And I'll go through some of that with you. The this year we caught pretty almost all of that downside in the S&P, right the way down to my 5,000 is where I exited down there. But as you know, I'm always more interested in the currencies, and I will be trading the S&P again. But as you know what the format is with the trading room, and you don't have to be there all of the time. Of course, we have our hardcore who are there in the trading room every day, but we have a non-hardcore who can't be there every day because they're working, family, work, life around all of that. And so they're like you probably did in the past. They can dip in and out, pick up trading room sessions, see what I'm up to on the app, and all of that. So right now, I feel like we've just coming to the end of Act One with regards to some of these moves that we've seen, and I'm talking about for now the euro dollar. So just recently we started getting long down here around 108, and then we added along the way. We have just banked some profit up here just below 115. And what I see next is the next opportunity. So I'm holding a core position, and of course a lot of our members will be. But I see the euro going to 120 and beyond. So I see this as one of those big thematics. We're already, yes, in it, but I think that the act one is probably done. And what I mean by that is, as I'm recording this on Thursday, yes, we're having a bounce day here today, and we may end up bouncing around or whatever. But I see this as hopefully the beginning of a retracement or pullback period, and so we are setting up right now for these new entries. And I would just like you to be involved if you're wanting to be involved in these sorts of trades, because these sort of thematic trades, as I always say, they're not trades that just make your month. They can make your quarter or your year. So, and we're only just getting going. On the challenge account, let's have a look here. Yeah, okay. So the challenge account's sitting what, 37,000 in profit at the moment, or $50,000 in profit at the moment. All right, all that can change if you want. But if you want to look, but we have already banked some out of that as well. And but the potential, when everything's coming together, we've got Europe getting their act together with regards to spending, especially Germany, fiscal spending. That's going to be good for the German economy, which is the driver of the European economy overall. It's the largest economy, as you know, overall. That fiscal spending that we're having going on in Germany on infrastructure, defence, plus that 800 billion pot of money from the EU going towards defence spending as well, means that there's a lot of European-based manufacturers, and of course down the supply chain from that are going to benefit from all this fiscal spending. So I think in the medium term, that's a good thing for Europe, and as a byproduct of that, a good thing for the euro. So bearing in mind, the euro is still vastly undervalued even at this level against the US dollar, same as the pound as well. And then you've got the flip side of all the uncertainty with what's going on in America, and that putting pressure on the dollar. And I think the US administration have talked in recent months about, they're quite comfortable with having a more competitive dollar for exports, i.e. a weaker dollar. So what we've got at the moment is, from an opportunity perspective, it becomes an asymmetric trade in a way, because we've just got a lot of things overlapping, pointing in that direction. There's still going to be pullbacks. There's still going to be all of that stuff that happens on news. There'll be negotiations on tariffs will be done, and deals will get done. And that may, when those things happen, create pullbacks in price. But that's where the opportunities are. And I just want you to join us, rejoin us to capitalize on these opportunities, because I still believe that this as an overall price move is in its infancy. So what am I looking at? Well, I've already said 120. Now, don't get me wrong. If we don't consolidate and pull back here, and we just launch higher in the days ahead, well, we'll probably get to 117 or so, and then we'll pull back from there. So whatever way we slice it, there's some big opportunities, big, good, solid risk reward opportunities. But even when we get to 120, if we're going to go there, and I do see 120, if I come out to the monthly chart, as more than viable to come up to the 120 zone, it may well be that I'm shorting up in that zone, but ultimately for a period, any reactions that we get into that zone, if we can get up to there, I suspect we'll still end up coming higher to retest these highs once you start getting it back into the mid 120s. And although I've got a lot of course, trend lines on this, if we literally go back to that historical level here, which goes all the way back, there's more going on back here, and cap that off down here, we're just working our way up within this trading range, let alone possibly the one up there. So I do see the scope to get comfortably into the mid 120s, bearing in mind that the purchasing power of parity I've just talked about, the euro being undervalued against the dollar, same with the sterling. It's between sort of 125 to 130, just to bring the euro back to purchasing power parity, just to evens, so to speak, with the dollar. The stage is set whilst the world is having this reset, that we've got this, what I believe, a rare opportunity whereby the technicals, those big divergences that I've been talking about on the quarterly charts, the technicals are aligning with the fundamental backstory. And I think that over this next year or so, the trading to opportunities on both sides, but for ultimately the euro to get into at least to the mid 20s is there right now. And the reason I want to put this message out to you now is because I think this may be the last opportunity in this next couple of weeks to start getting in on this current drive that we're in. So either we're going to consolidate here, great, that gives that opportunity, or even if we just went straight up again, there will then be a pullback and the opportunity will come from there. So whatever way I slice it, I think this is the last period of opportunity to be in this, and I would just like you to be back in this, because that is my job. I want people to be as passionate about the markets as I am, and I just think this is an opportunity over this next year or so overall for even bigger other big moves. They don't come along all of the time, and I think we're in that period at the moment. So I just wanted to give you that little bit of information there and say, are you sure you don't want to give us another try? I know you have to fit it around your time and all of that, But do I see some amazing opportunities, not just on the euro, obviously elsewhere. I've already talked about the stock markets as well, but and other currencies. So it's an ample, amazing time to be involved, and I just want to make sure that you're not missing out, because so often, just to finish off, what happens is we go and have an amazing run, and then people want to join again. They're like, oh yeah, you you had this amazing run. But they're joining, and it's fine, but they join on the back of the amazing run. I want people being there during it. So there you go. That's my message from you, and or to you, and hopefully one or two of you say, oh yeah, I need to be in on this. Even if you can't be in the trading room all the time, you know the gig. I'll speak to you soon.